it's got me feeling fluid. Give me something, I'ma do it.
All right, welcome everybody. We're going to get started. If you are still standing and you want a seat, there are a few here in the front. You can come and grab them, and we'll get started in about 30 seconds, but I'm going to vamp for a little bit. That's why we start with the 30-minute vamp session. If you have a bag or a plate or a can next to you on the bench, please go ahead and pick that up so it can be replaced by another human being. That would be great. We had a huge number of people interested tonight. There are about 700 behind you on the wait list. So if you got in the door, congratulations on your fast reflexes. But this was a very popular event, and hopefully it'll be the first, well, second of a long series. But thank you for coming tonight. Let's go ahead and start with some audience participation. So, show of hands, who here has ever shipped an AI workflow into production? Okay, keep those hands up if it is still running in production right now. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay, we've got an advanced crowd here tonight. Well, that's why we're here. So, quick intro, just so you know who's holding the mic and why. I'm Alex, one of the co-founders of Upside. We're co-hosting tonight along with Notion, who has gifted us this beautiful space for the evening. Round of applause for Notion. Okay. Upside is the data layer for agentic GTM, which means if you're here, you either know why you need that or you're about to. But my primary responsibility tonight is actually keeper of the countdown timer. And I take that responsibility very seriously. So this room is filled. There are about, like we said, 800, 900 people behind you on the wait list. So congratulations for making it in. But the format tonight is pretty simple. That's the point. There aren't going to be PowerPoint slides. We're not going to be doing sales pitches. There isn't thought leadership, quote unquote. So it's 7 practitioners. They're going to have their laptops and they're going to show you things that they actually run, and they get 5 minutes each. And I do mean 5 minutes. There's a timer up here that only the presenter and I can see. And at 7 minutes, I'm going to walk on and lovingly take the mic away. So we will keep this ship running pretty tightly. We are also not going to be doing live stage Q&A. So instead, every speaker will get a table at the end, and you can go do Q&A with them live there, because 10 minutes with the speaker live is going to be better than one scripted answer from the front. Quick housekeeping before we get started. If you haven't discovered it already, bathrooms are in the back towards my right, your left. We are currently live on the internet to a bunch of people. So say hello, internet, including LinkedIn and YouTube and everybody else. You've already discovered food and drinks in the back, so help yourself all night. We have more pizza coming. And very important, there is a go-to-market engineer art wall. So everybody turn around and point back towards the stairs. Right there is a GTM piece of art that is a community collective effort. If you haven't signed it already, make sure you do that before you leave. If you did sign it, feel free to sign it again. Markers are right there. We're going to be taking this to the next set of events, and it's going to turn out really cool at the end. So, without further ado, let's bring up the first person on our agenda tonight. This is Cindy Huang from Cognition. They are the folks behind Devin, the AI software engineer. And Cindy is Cognition's first ever applied AI transformation manager. Before this, she spent 5 years at Tesla helping launch the Model 3, the Plaid, and the Shanghai Gigafactory. Then she co-founded an ML's wearables startup out of Stanford. So Gigafactories to AI agents, she definitely has range. Fun bit of trivia, today is actually 1 year exactly since Cognition announced the Windsurf acquisition. So happy anniversary. Today she's going to be showing us Slack-based workflows for self-serve consumption analytics. So Cindy, wherever you are, ready to take it away.
All right, can everyone hear me? Yeah? Okay, awesome. Let me just start this. Okay. Hey everyone, my name is Cindy Huang, and I'm an applied AI transformation manager at Cognition, the makers of Devin, and primarily work with enterprise customers on integrating Devin into their workflows and deploying at massive scale. And so a lot of my job involves looking at consumption analytics. So that's user trends across different organizations, how users are using our product, what users are not using our product, how many PRs are they merging, how much are they using, how efficiently are they using our product, et cetera. So it's really important for me to monitor those trends. And initially, we've built a bunch of dashboards to be able to monitor that data. I've used Devin a lot in my day-to-day workflow in order to automate a lot of that consumption and give me insights and analysis that previously I was doing manually. So I'll show you quickly how I set up some of those playbooks. So this is the homepage of Devin. We have what's called playbooks, which is essentially a set of codified tasks. Oh, let me try to move this right here. Codified tasks that tells Devin exactly how I like to run a session. So let me just look up my name here and open up the one that I want to show you. So this one called Demi, we called it Demi. That's a play on words here. Our team name initially was Engagement Manager, so it's the Devin Engagement Manager. I use Devin actually to write this prompt as well. So Devin is taking context from all of my Slack channels about the customer. It's taking data from Salesforce, our consumption analytics through our databases via Redshift and BigQuery, as well as Granola, all of my notes, Gong, etc. So and Notion. It's pulling in all of that context to complement the quantitative data from the consumption analytics with all of the qualitative data and what's going on in the account day to day. So usually I actually have this running every week for me. And so I won't go through all of the details of this prompt, but basically I used Devin to help codify this, and this was what I was previously doing manually. And so it's gathering the context. It has awareness on holidays, so it's gonna forecast in the future. So let me know if there's a holiday coming up. So then I expect to see consumption go down, etc. And I think the good thing here also is that it provides a lot of the insights on what to do and actions to take with the customer, which I can then bring back to them. So I can invoke this using a macro here. The macro that I've selected here is called Demi EM. So if I go back to the app, I will say exclamation mark Demi EM. And then one of my accounts is Citibank. So I'll say Citi and then just hit enter there. And so I'll spare you the details of letting Devin run here. We won't have to wait for it since I've already run this before. The good thing about Devin is it is an autonomous engineer, and I could even just close my laptop and go home right now and it would still continue to run in the background. But I will show you the output of what I ran earlier here. And so basically Devin gives me this HTML output that shows a dashboard of all of the key metrics that I want to look at and insights on those analytics. So how many active users, how many sessions. This is all anonymized, by the way. This is fake data. Consumption, daily consumption trends, where they're coming from, the product mix across different surfaces, opportunities, power users, organizations, and all of this account context as well that it pulls in from Slack. And so this is very actionable for me. Additionally, I have this running on an automated schedule. So basically, if we go to Slack, this is actually running every Sunday for me, and it'll post it into the Slack channel for the deal. So for my customer, it'll post a Slack channel. It has all the headline metrics. You can see it gives me the recommended actions here, and I can choose how I take those. Oh, I just realized my Slack is not showing. I will change the screen quickly to Slack. So this, you can see here, it's sent from Devin Beta. And yeah, this has all the attachments that I just showed. It has all of these recommended actions on what to do given the data. So that going into the week, then I have a healthy set of data and insights that I can then bring to the customer and entertain what the next steps would be to drive expansion across the account. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Cindy. Next up, we have Ben Levitt from Baseten. So before Baseten, Ben spent nearly a decade running live event operations like Outside Lands and Coachella and a couple of Warriors Championship parades. So a live demo in front of 150 people is probably the calmest room he's worked in years. He's going to be showing us how Baseten uses parallel to find real buying signals. So that includes TAM sourcing, account prioritization, outbound that doesn't read like outbound, and so on. Let's welcome Ben.
Thanks. All right, hey everybody. I'm Ben. I'm on the GTM team at Baseten. Didn't really think ahead that demoing like a backend workflow, I wouldn't have a ton of stuff to show, but I'm going to walk you guys through how we track like tens of thousands of signals on growing AI companies at Baseten. I'm actually going to scroll to the bottom here and just show you what the end result looks like for our reps every day. We're an inference provider. The AI market is changing every day. What it looked like a month ago is not the same as today. And our reps need to stay on top of this. This helps them prioritize accounts, helps them personalize outbound. It also helps us find new emerging companies that aren't in our CRM and add them. So this is an example of Delaney, who's one of our AEs. This is an alert she got Friday for Mercor, and you can see it covers a few different things, like they're rumored to be raising. They've acquired DeepTune, and even some technical content on how they're thinking about model routing for cost optimization. So I think with like the 6.5 minutes we have, I can show you guys exactly how to build this for yourself. It's pretty easy. So we use Parallel today. They have a great monitors product. You can basically go to Parallel and your coding agent, Codex, Claude Code, whatever you choose, is going to be really good at setting this up for you. You can basically go and tell it, use Parallel to alert me when X happens on the internet. And what we're finding at Baseten is that these web search APIs are getting to a level of accuracy that's really acceptable. And they're really cost efficient. Like if I was checking for something every day and I was using a regular LLM call, that would start to become really expensive if I'm doing it across like, let's say 10,000 accounts every day. So what is a monitor in Parallel? A monitor is just a saved web search that runs on a schedule and it reports new signals or events that match a specific condition. So we'll actually jump over to what that looks like here. This is just what a monitor spec is. Again, I don't write this myself. Claude Code, Codex, whatever will help you with this. But we're defining like we want to check for this thing every day. This is a simple example of a query that I want to check for. In this case, like I'm looking for new AI product or feature launches for, the hypothetical Acme Co. And then I'm also defining the structure that I want to receive from that anytime it detects a new event. So I want to get the product name. I want a headline. That's what I delivered in that Slack alert that I showed you guys earlier, and a summary of the signal as well. This is just a simple example. We also pass along some metadata from our systems, like what's the account ID, what's the account name, what signal is this? So this helps us like reconcile on a daily basis, what signals do we have running, which accounts are they responsible for? So every day we send digest to our reps and store this information in our warehouse. We know what the monitor belongs to. And then optionally, you can also set up a webhook. So if you want to know as soon as these signals are detected in real time, which is a pretty cool use case for like things you might check on an hourly basis, you can provide a webhook and get hit with that right away. So what does Baseten do more specifically with monitors? We run tens of thousands of monitors to monitor our top accounts. We primarily look at like funding, capital events, M&A, obviously any changes to their product from an AI perspective, any major like leadership hires in the AI ML space, as well as job posts, and then any tech content that kind of gives our reps insight into what people are building and how they're thinking about serving AI features to their customers. What I found, like just to pause on this real quick, is that we care about really nuanced signals at Baseten, and no data provider is going to give that to you. And building like the pipelines of like the last generation of this kind of work would have taken a lot of bandwidth and time. we can just define in natural language really specific things we care about, and parallel monitors become quite good at picking up on this information on the internet. So this is just kind of like a high level workflow of what this looks like. We define like our signal monitor templates. We also define our cohort in our CRM that we want to monitor. Every day we run a job to create new, like if a new account has been added to the CRM and assigned to a rep, we're going to create monitors for that. We're going to retire ones that may have been like disqualified or moved out of some sort of priority. Parallel will check on those things every day. We'll pull for new results. We'll normalize them and log them in our warehouse. And then we'll surface that via a dashboard, but also via that Slack daily digest. And what I showed you in the screenshot is we collect structured feedback, thumbs up, thumbs down, comment. So over time, we have a history of what people like and don't like, and we can start to kind of loop back here and optimize how we're prompting these monitors. One other workflow we do is for TAM sourcing. So that was for monitoring accounts that you care about, you already know about. We go after a lot of early stage companies. We want to know about them as soon as possible. So we're also checking for companies that are emerging from stealth or raising capital. Maybe a new open source model from a new Neo lab comes out. Maybe even like someone in like a research or member of technical staff role left OpenAI. We don't know what they're doing, but we want to track that. So we will run these monitors every day, see if anything new is in our CRM. And if it's not in our CRM, we'll kind of do the traditional create it, enrich it, score it. And we will, depending on the score, prioritize it immediately or just put it in a weekly digest. So I think just to like close on this, if I go sit at the table or whatever, come talk to me. We can talk a little bit more about the technical details here. But why I really like monitors today is the cost to accuracy ratio really works at scale. If you want to monitor something all the time for 10,000 records, 20,000 records, I think it's a penny per execution the way we run it today. So that's 52 cents if you monitor it per week, a year per record, or obviously $3.65 if you monitor it daily. You can also define the unique signals that really matter to you. Like every business is unique and cares about specific things that no data provider is going to give you. And maybe you aren't going to spend the money on traditional like LLM calls to get that information every day. And they're just an API. There's a SDK, a CLI, an MCP. Any agent you work with will be happy to use these and build with these. So I assume there's some kind of YouTube video that's going to go up after this live stream. And you could probably just give it the transcript of this video and say, go use Parallel to build this, and it would do a pretty good job for you. I think we got a few seconds left. This is what a result looks like. I'll just show you here. Like here's a new event that came in. We found a new product with a change log saying Parallel launched a new search API on Turbo. That actually happened, I think, today. It cites the change log. It gives us a headline field. Yep.
Right to the very last second, full
Sorry.
optimization. Thank you, Ben. Okay, number 3, we have David Bennick, Principal Product Manager at Samsara. So for those who might not know, Samsara is a go-to-market organization of over 1,000 people. So this is a totally different scale than many of us are dealing with. David builds the growth and revenue systems that keep that machine running. Before Samsara, he was at Google and YouTube, where at one point he closed the books on a multi-billion-dollar data center and GPU budget. So yeah, he's comfortable with scale. His demo talk tonight might be my favorite, Vibes plus Skills Hub. So Vibes are officially part of the GTM strategy layer now. David, please show us how this works with 1,000 people.
Awesome, thank you. All right, can this go any higher? No, I'm kidding. Good to see y'all. My name is David Bennick. I work at Samsara. I'm on the growth product and engineering team, where I get to work with PM and developers to build go-to-market products that help us win. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Samsara business, we build hardware and software that solves the biggest, most complex physical operator challenges that are out there in the globe. And to do this, there's an entire 1,000-person plus go-to-market organization that I get to build product for. What I'm going to be talking to you specifically is about how we are mobilizing that team to also be builders and doers themselves. And we do that through safe and secure app hosting and how we have up-leveled the entire organization using a skills hub and repository. So before we jump into the specific demo, just go back with me in time, maybe a few months or even a few years ago. Traditionally, requests would come into a product team. You'd meet with them. They'd say, I have this great idea. And you kind of say nicely as a product manager, okay, that's great. Well, we'll talk to you in a little bit. That's no longer the case. I had a meeting this week, and instead of just putting it off on the backlog, putting it into the roadmap, I did a single prompt to build a prototype that I can host on our applications today and showcase and demo with people via a live URL. So let's actually get down to it. What we built at Samsara is a way to host these applications. We do it on Vibes, as you can see here. The actual mechanics of how this is built is through a mix of a setup on AWS that enables it. When you actually want to fire a Vibe, most builders, as you likely are, you'd be in Cowork or Codex. We would set up you just can do a single prompt, and by doing so, you would initiate the Vibes platform. This would emit a bunch of different calls throughout the run. I just had this on auto earlier this morning. It called our specific Vibe skills. It created a PR for us in a Dockerized file. Bada bing, bada boom, here's my PR. And before long, I have a stage, or that's the PR. I'll get back to here. I have an app right here hosted in a matter of minutes. So for the non-developer, this is a huge unlock. Not longer do they have ideas in their heads, but they have apps that they can use and share. And this was also really important for our business because we saw this emerging organic need where people were building and hosting stuff, but it wasn't secure and it wasn't in a place that others could access. So a really cool artifact, and cloud is only as good as far as it can be seen. We have unlocked that so people can use and share these applications accordingly. So here's an application. Vibe coded it this morning in a single prompt and a few other alterations. This would be solving the example of this event check-in for this amazing event called Show and Tell AI for Go-to-Market. And right here, we can get this up and running and can even push to production with one single review by our AI code review that's powered by Cursor, or a developer actually doing manual review and pushing via GitHub. So that is how the Vibes application works. The only other piece I want to talk about is another underlying infrastructure behind this that we call our Skills Hub. Skills Hub is a collection of skills that we have decentralized across our go-to-market organization. You can see it. Let me just move over here. And it's a place where we have federated all skills to be placed in a single area so that people can learn from others. We don't think skills belong on individual machines, but rather they should be shared. That's when they're at their maximum utility. And we have put this together to connect to people's agents and machines to a single place. And it's been really powerful for us because it's helped with onboarding, it's helped with user or team member education, and it's also helped with standardizing workflows across the org. So whether you're a data scientist, you're a growth marketer, you're an engineer, or you're a comms person that's trying to write within certain brand construct, we can all do that with these skills that we've federated across the organization. You can click into one of them. Let's say Stop Slop. This is just an open sourced skill out there, nothing specific to Samsara. You can see it here. If you're a person who wants to use this in all your workflows, you can download it. You could even install it to your local machine, and you could have it running as an MCP. So once again, why is this important? Why has this been powerful for our teams? Hosting apps is no longer blocked to individual workers, but it's now been federated out to the builders of the world. We're extremely excited about this. This empowers them to go build the things that they need to drive the business value. And also additionally, it allows it to be done in a secure way. No more secrets on the web, on URLs that we don't know about. And also getting to do this through skills and other technical layers that allows everyone to benefit, and so that we can continue to grow at an extremely fast rate on a multi-billion-dollar ARR at Samsara. Thank you so much. Appreciate the team having me. We'll answer any questions at the table afterwards.
Thank you, David. Okay, next up, our hosts get a turn. So we have Eric Goldman from Notion. He's on the product team, and he got there by co-founding Sequin, a data sync company that Notion acquired last year. So get your customer data all in one place is a problem that he's been chewing on for a few years at this point. His first company, though, a waffle stand at USC with the same guy he later founded Sequin with, running one of the very first Square card readers. Waffles to customer hubs. This man ships everything. Please welcome Eric Goldman.
Hello, everybody. Any Notion users out there? Let's go. Welcome to our offices. I hope you enjoy your time today. I'm Eric on our product team, and I want to show you how we use Notion ourselves to power our go-to-market motion. And quick little kind of preface to that, I'm going to use Notion to do this presentation as well, which is I'm assuming a bunch of you and your teams have a ton of tools that have all your customer data in it. And it's all spread across your teams. Different people are using it for different things. And then what's happening now with AI, as you're probably seeing in a lot of the demos here today, is everybody's now spinning up their own little interfaces as well to kind of get stuff done, find what the customer is doing, create a little CRM for themselves. And they're all kind of looking and noodling away to get more information. And that's also causing another problem, which is then like the information for any one customer is now getting further siloed, although your agents can find it eventually. And so at Notion, what's really important to us is that you're able to have a shared canvas where you and your agents see all that data together, and that it's so easy to use that instead of kind of filing away that data somewhere else, you can all do it in one place. And we do that with a tool we call customer hubs, which you can all build in Notion yourselves. So let me show you how we do that. So I'm actually going to show you customer hubs as they live in Notion, which is we have all of our core data for all of our major go-to-market motions right here in this one page. We have our accounts from Salesforce. All of our opportunities are syncing in here. We bring in all of our Gong transcripts as well. We have all of our Zendesk tickets, and we bring that all into one space. And if I actually go into that view, you'll see that we have all of this information just filing all into one big database. And the way that it's getting there, and I'll show you how to build this at the end, is it's all powered by our worker platform, which is a bunch of infrastructure we give your agents to spin up and sync all this data into Notion exactly how you want. And what's really cool is instead of needing to maybe put this information on a separate HTML website or somewhere that you can't really easily edit, you can just see all this data in one place. So for example, for this kind of fake view of our customer Affirm, you can begin to see that we actually have all this summary information in one place. And an agent writes that information. They compact that data for you. You can see all their details. You can see our SWOT analysis. You can see all of this information about our objectives on the account. And it's all living in one document that I can also go in at any time and I can make it my own. We have dashboards in there. You can see all the opportunities for the account. You can see all the Gong calls. And what's important with the Gong calls is we pull in all the raw transcripts as well, what people actually said. And why that is so important is so that you can have agents go and reprocess that same conversation, but from a different lens. So for me on product, I have agents that run on these transcripts to tell me what the feature requests are or what the bug reports are. But that's specifically what I want to get out of the call, not necessarily what the AE or the account manager wants. We get all the Zendesk tickets in there. We can file all the bugs in one place. We can show you all of their feature requests and where they stand. And so what's really important about this is that all the information you're seeing here, this dashboard, it's available to everybody at Notion, not just our sales team, our product team, our technical support teams, our engineering teams. At any time, they can spin up a new document. And if they want to talk about Affirm, they can go ahead and instantly link it. And what that does is it begins to build the full knowledge graph of everything we talk about with that account. That backlink is forever indexed against that one individual page. And the last thing I just kind of want to show you before I kind of indicate how you can build this is a really complex, rich environment of data. If I actually kind of visualize the data sources here, what actually is happening here is we have all of our Salesforce accounts, and those are getting mapped to our account planning and strategic objective database, all of our campaign and launches, all of our internal meetings, all their feature requests, tasks, use cases. It's a very complete ecosystem of all of that information, and it's syncing in real time from the system of truth. And now you might be asking yourself, how do I go and build that sync? Well, the way you'll do it very, very soon in Notion is you'll just go to Nosy. Today, you'll go to Claude Code or Codex, but you'll literally just go into the same chat window that everybody uses, and you'll tell it what you want to build, and then it'll start building that sync for you right inside of Notion. And you can build it completely tailored to what you need. Your Salesforce, if you're using Gong, you can use Gong. If you're using, whatever other thousands of meeting notes recordings there are, you can do that all in one place. And so that's how you build these things and how we use go-to-market in Notion. And if you want to see more about how to build it, just find me in the back. And otherwise, thanks so much.
Thank you, Eric. So remember at the beginning when I said everybody in this room either knows why they need an agentic go-to-market data layer or would by the end of the day? That's why. Definitely go find Eric to find out how you can build it with Notion, or you can also find us at the Upside booth to see how you can do it with Upside. Multiple options. Next up, we have Mada Segete, and full disclosure, she is my co-founder at Upside. Before that, she co-founded Branch, where we worked together for 8 years, which means that's about like 3 centuries in AI age. But she's the creative genius behind that go-to-market engineered data artwork that you're all gonna sign before you leave today. And today she's gonna be showing off the go-to-market engineer practitioner database, which is also behind this community. Welcome, Mada.
Woo! Thank you. Awesome. Well, it's great being here. I usually don't get to present at these things because I think I am the least technical out of my co-founders. So I think as we started going and trying to understand the go-to-market engineer community better, I thought that instead of reading about it, what if I could actually become a go-to-market engineer myself and actually build something that can help us keep track of the community, but can also give back to community. So there's this website here you can follow along at upside.tech/GTME. And this is a website that daily refreshes and looks for both practitioners and jobs in the market. And it basically puts them into a subcategory. I found 8 subcategories here. Outbound go-to-market engineer. I am definitely this one, the marketing engineer. We have the RevOps flavor. And it keeps track of trends over time on how these jobs are coming and going. There's a job board here. And we also have practitioners. And you can actually get to learn about these practitioners because we actually have videos. Here's Angela here. Where's Angela? I saw her. We have her right here with a video from the last meetup. And let me show you how I actually built this. This basically goes through, there's a few different discovery sources. So I'm using Exa's API to search for jobs and practitioners. I'm using any site that does a better job at actually finding people on LinkedIn. There's a place where people can submit, and I also do some editorial manual work. And all of this actually goes into a Notion database. And a lot of the updates are done by Notion agents. So there's a Notion database here that has the roles, the GTM is into market, submissions. If you go on the website, there's actually a link that allows you to go straight into the database that you can download and use yourself. And this is the Notion agent that every day runs through this and updates the database. So this is how I build a database. Now, the question is, how do I use this in my day-to-day? I want to build relationships with these people, which are the people that are more relevant to us. So as Alex mentioned earlier, to help you understand how I'm using this, I want to give you 30 seconds on Upside. We are the agentic data layer on top of go-to-market data. So we take data from Salesforce, HubSpot, Gong, email, and we deduplicate it. We extract interesting things from calls and transcripts. Let's say someone came here and didn't actually register, but after they say in an email, it was great seeing you at the meetup, we're able to extract that and know that they were actually a member of this campaign. So we put it all together, and we allow people to build cool stuff on top of it. So there's many examples of people building stuff on top of our data, like intent signals, understanding AE activity, prospect awareness, etc. So I used our MCP on our own data. And then I also used our anchor assets. So again, my co-founder Alex has product marketing background, so he keeps these extremely clean. And I went into Cursor and I said, hey, Cursor, oh no. Using the Upside MCP and the anchor assets helped me build a mini app and publish it that helped me understand who should we build more relationships with? So this is what it came up with. This is the mini app. Refresh it. And it's showing me people here I should meet. So you might see your name. If you see your name, please come talk to us. It means we want to meet you. And it gave us background on all these people. So I know Charlie's on the live stream. So it kind of tells us how we know Charlie. And I can even see the background of our relationship with him. So this is when we met Charlie, and this is his engagement with us and with the go-to-market team at Upside. And we also have target companies. So it's trying to understand who are like companies that we should connect with. And it's also showing us if they're customers or prospects. And again, here I can see the relationship with that company over time, and again, open them in our Account Explorer. So that is it. If you want to learn more about how we built the GTME database, if you want to submit your profile there, come find us. And that's it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mada. Out of interest, who in the room is currently hiring for GTME type roles? Okay, there's a couple brave people in the back. Who in the room is currently hoping to be hired for GTME type roles? Okay, that is actually fewer than I expected, but I think the number of hands kind of maps out on both sides, so you should find each other afterwards. Demo number 6 is from Jay Sanan. So Jay runs product-led growth at BrowserBase. Before that, he founded an edtech company. Before that, he was an aerospace engineer building rockets. He learned how to fly planes. And during the pandemic, he led a volunteer team that 3D printed 25,000 face shields for hospitals. So rockets to growth engines to a real career arc. Jay's job is making sure that when an AI agent recommends browser infrastructure, it recommends BrowserBase. So that arms race is brand new, and he is winning it. Here is Jay to show us how it works.
Thank you. Cool. Hey, everyone. I'm Jay, and I'm a growth engineer at BrowserBase. And all I care about at BrowserBase is PLG. PLG stands for product-led growth. And basically, it's how we get people in from the top of funnel. How do we find them at like events, marketing, from our SEO, AEO, to launches, to Twitter, whatever it is. How do we get them to the site? And then it's everything after that. How do we activate them? How do we engage them? How do we get them to convert and pay us? And hopefully, how we don't let them go and we retain them and we don't have any churn. So I care about that entire funnel. The thing I want to talk to you about today is something that I'm trying to coin called agent-led growth. And well, as you've seen, everyone uses Claude and ChatGPT, and it's the quickest way that we are now growing at BrowserBase. And this is a shameless plug, but I wrote an article on the entire thing and every single detail that we did at BrowserBase on how to win this. But the reason I screenshotted this, because I wanted to show that blue line on the screen there. That is from AI signups coming from referrals from Claude. So let's try to give some context. And we actually grew our signups in 3 months by 119% and increased our activation by 10% from the things that we did that I literally wrote down here. So you can copy it and send it to Claude. Okay, so one of the things I'm going to talk about with agent-led growth, you can break it down to 2 things. You can break it down into your AEO, which is agent engine optimization. That's how you get found. And for me, AEO is just basically great SEO. And one of the big things that we did for the AEO SEO side was use case pages. And you got to imagine, yes, we can have loads of like pages on BrowserBase, but one of the things is like people are now searching in Claude very specific terms. How do I fix this? Or how do I do this? Or help me build this? And the agent is going away and doing searches for these particular things. And so one of those is like, how can we cover such a wide horizontal space for BrowserBase to be like for the agent to latch onto something in a web search and be like, okay, we can use BrowserBase. So one might be like a job scraper or a news scraper or like BrowserBase for healthcare. And it's very specific pages. I started by automating these by hand. I was writing them, uploading them, took a while. Then I made a skill for it. Then I got Claude to do it. And then I ended up creating a agent that uses our internal agent actually, and it builds it every single day and creates a new use case page for us, drops it right into Slack and gives me the Sanity draft. And essentially I can come into Sanity and we've got this AI agents for sales. We can click on a preview here. And I think we've already published this one, but it'll show us a preview of that page, completely generated every single day. So it's now something that I literally hated doing, and now just every single day I get a new page. And the idea behind that is to kind of increase our spread of how many pages we've got answering very specific problem and solution when people are searching in Claude. So that's the first thing I want to show. The next thing I want to talk about is something that I think is more important than the AEO because you can control it more. It's the agent experience side of things. Once that agent's now found you and they're like, okay, we're going to use browser-based, how quickly does it take for the agent to actually use it? And how easy is it for that agent to get started and run an API session? For us, activation is, does someone use a browser? And so if we can get them to there quicker, then we know they're going to pay and we're going to convert them quicker as well. So originally our agent experience was like, go to the docs, go start on this. And we've seen some demos tonight where it's like, go to Parallel and go set up these things. For us, I wanted to test that because I can fix things in our docs. So I built an area where I can test it. So what I'm gonna do here is get started with browser-based as a simple prompt. I'm gonna do 5 runs on Opus and I'm gonna start. And what this is gonna do, it's gonna live spin up 5 different sandboxes on Vercel that are completely clean. And it's going to start running each of these agents in a trace and show me exactly what they're doing to get started on browser-based and running an API session. I haven't even told them what the API key is called. I've just given them the generic one. A result of this will be a trace like this, and it tells me where the agent got blocked, what happened, where it went wrong. And we actually reduced the amount of time it took an agent to set up with browser-based by 30% by doing this. And one of my best findings was the agents were hallucinating by going to our wrong SDK package. And so what I did was I went and registered the incorrect SDK packages they were going to and pointed them at the correct one for browser-based. Because I can't control what the models are trained on. I can't control the web that they're indexed on, and I can't stop them from hallucinating. So now this reduces a turn and reduces the amount of tokens that the agent will use, meaning they get onboarded faster. They're more likely to use us because in my article, I introduced a term called instant churn, which basically means if the agent is having a really bad time of using your product, they can just go and build it themselves or go use a competitor. Okay, so that's agent-led growth. And we'll talk about those 2 things, AU and AX. And the last thing I'm going to show you is how do I track it all? At browser-based, at any startup, you do wear so many hats, and it's so difficult to know what's going on with your product, with the platform, in the world, and socials, wherever. And so I built this PLG dashboard, so product-led growth dashboard. And these are all fake numbers. But what it shows me is my entire funnel from top to bottom. So it gives me the socials that was pulling up through an API, web traffic from post-targ, gives me referrals and onboarding surveys, shows me my signups as well, activation engagements, all the normal funnel stuff. But the main difference between like this and like Hex or Snowflake is essentially on the right-hand side here. I'm pulling what shipped and what signals. So I've got an API to Slack, I've got an API to Linear, I've got an API into our socials, as well as our GitHub, as well. I can see every single commit. So I can look, okay, cool. So sign spiked in this area here, and I can go down and see exactly what shipped, what's changed in the UI, what's launched, and I can report on that and be like, hey, this is what drove this metric. Because in a world where there's so much noise, it's kind of impossible for me to like drill it down every single time and remember what happened like 5 months ago. So that's how I track everything at browser-based, and all the things before is what I do to help me track and report on great numbers. So I've shown this PLG dashboard before, and so when I showed it last time, loads of people came up to me and asked for it. You don't have to scan it, but if you want it, there it is, and there's a GitHub. Saves me just answering that later. And then the article, if anyone wants a copy for the article, which literally gives every single point on how we did it, you can copy that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Our closer today, Matrix Shah, runs growth marketing at Assembled. So Matrix started his career in field sales in Toronto, knocking on actual doors. And 8 years of growth work later, he's automating the thing that every sales team says it'll do and never gets around to, which is working the closed lost pile. Resurrecting dead deals automatically. No better way to end the demos. Matrix, bring us home.
Cool. Re-engaging closed lost deals. Thanks for the intro. My name is Matrix. I'm a growth marketer over at Assembled. And today we want to create dialogue with sales opportunities and business our team didn't win. We're going to do it by making sense of unstructured data. We're going to send some outbound messaging, and we're also going to create, probably the most fun part, create custom websites for every single prospect at scale that we want to re-engage with, all within context, of course. So why do we do this? Closed lost deals had the highest conversion rates, something Upside has told me, and I believe. And we already know these accounts. We know their pain points, who's there. We know more about them than anyone else. The problem is there's a lot of upfront work with going after closed lost deals. There's a bunch of transcripts, and salespeople don't really want to do it. Especially getting it right is just a ton of upfront work and bandwidth. Of course, Assembled has many customers, but a lot of them have some information we don't want to share. So today we're going to be selling to the Mars Martians. They're a small support team with 50 or so agents. And the reason we lost was timing. They are using a competitor of ours, Variant. I don't know if I mentioned what Assembled does. We do customer support software. So how it works. From a high level, there are 3 things. There's the data layer, the reasoning layer, and the orchestration layer. The data layer, we're capturing everything from internal data and public data. The reasoning layer is we're leveraging AI and large context windows to make decisions on the data that we've acquired, and then the orchestration layer. So the more the fun part. So generating content, sending it to the platforms that our sales team uses, and making everything usable and automated. Before we get into the actual automations, there are a couple of rules to building that I think I've distilled. When you're building for multiple teams, use tools that everyone can manage. So in our case, we use Clay instead of code, just because we're working with the sales team, the marketing team, and other stakeholders. Everything should be a function in Clay, and each function should tell you what to do next. So every AI prompt should have an output that tells you what do I do with this reasoning and what do I do next. For those who aren't familiar with Clay, functions are kind of like Claude skills in Claude and components in Figma, something that you can reference. And you want to minimize the number of inputs. And so we only use account ID from Salesforce for internal data and website for external data. So I'm going to flip over to Clay and show you what a example closed lost table looks like for us. You can see that it's all functions up here at the top. Nothing is hard-coded in this table. And our inputs are going to be account ID if it's internal data. So we're pulling all the transcripts. We're pulling all the emails that the salespeople might have gone back and forth with. We're analyzing them, and then we're finding relevant case study based off of our backend in Notion. That's all internal data, so making sense of all the conversations. But then we have external data, so we're getting signals. We're pulling anything online. Are they hiring for customer support? News articles, mergers, acquisitions, like anything that exists on the internet, we're capturing here. And then we're pushing that all against our featured database. So what features have we launched since last speaking? Can we surface those? What makes sense? I think the part here that's really cool is like when AI tells you what to do next, you can start to figure out when is it a good time to reach out to someone. It's not a good time to reach out to everyone. And so here, when we get to like who we made a custom website for, which is this node here, it's only for a few people. And then just because we don't have too much time, I'm just going to go over prospecting and then sending off messaging as a separate thing, but that would happen in another table. It's here now just for demo purposes. We send things to Slack for talk tracks, to salespeople, Gong for emails and calls, and HeyReach for LinkedIn messaging. All that completely automated. But I think what everyone's most excited for is making websites at scale for everyone. And so this is what our Martian website looks like. We talk about things that the salesperson and our company had talked about in calls. We explain what's new. We surface things that we flagged, and a lot more. I think the part here that is really impressive is the modular system. So everyone here is a system thinker. I mean, there's a bunch of go-to-market engineers. Close loss is one use case because we built everything in functions, because our website is, again, modular. We can ask the question, what happens when there's 10,000 accounts? Well, it works because there are no dependencies and every system is reusable, sorry. So we can do this for open opportunities, top of funnel, people we've never spoken to, middle funnel, it doesn't really matter. And like I mentioned, Clay, everything's a function. And so when you look at our table, it's just a bunch of check marks. And then, we're looking at maybe 40 or so columns here. In the back end, there's about 500 to 600, pulling in all that information. The website, it's one repo, one database on Supabase, and it powers everything. It can work for anyone pretty much. And then I guess the most impressive part is, regardless of what sections you take out, if AI thinks that we shouldn't have them in there, like case studies or things that were mentioned in calls, if all that gets taken out, it still works. Like the website will still get made with the right context and content. And yeah, at scale, pretty much being able to send it out to everyone. Engaging close loss deals.
Thank you, Matrix. Now let's do one more round of applause for all 7 of the speakers tonight. Okay, this is why God invented the 2-minute transition. We're waiting for the very important visual, and there it is. So demos were the trailer, but the tables are the movie. Every speaker is hosting a table at the room right after this. So find the demo that made you sit up and go talk to that person who built it for a while. I am standing on top of the red dot right now. So this line of tables is going back this side of the room. And there's another room on this side. And then there is a final person through this corridor in the kitchen area. So that's where you'll go if you want to find David. But 3 things before you scatter. Number 1, that go-to-market engineered art piece in the back. Do not forget to put your mark on it. Also, we have a demo booth for Upside in the back. So please come and see us if you're interested in that go-to-market data layer. And if you're interested in demoing at a future session like this, or where we might be able to host one with this many people, there is a form here. We'd love you to fill it out and let us know. So thanks again for coming. Social hour starts after the table talks, and nobody's kicking us out until at least 9. So we hope you'll hang around and have some more pizza. Thanks for coming.
Job, yeah, that's right. I'm working at my job. I'm